concrete floor maintenance, it's 3 parts. So you have cleaning, you have refreshing, and you have revitalizing. Cleaning's pretty basic. It's keeping the dust off the floor, it's keeping the grime off the floor. It's a daily process of sweeping, mopping, dusting the floor, making sure all the grime and everything that would potentially abrade the surface stays off the floor as much as possible. Refreshing is a little more intensive, where you're going to move furniture, run a high-speed burnisher over it, and that's going to regain your gloss on the surface. So I would say typically that's going to be done somewhere in the range of monthly or bi-weekly, or every other week. The third part of that would be refreshing the floor, revitalizing the floor. That's going to basically be moving everything from the surface, putting another coat of the LS Guard product down. This guy here. This is what was used to seal the floor after the final polishing pass. So basically remove everything from the floor, put a fresh coat, real thin coat of LS Guard down, and then run a high-speed burnisher over it, and that's going to replace the sealer that's worn off from traffic over time. And that's going to completely revitalize the surface, regain that surface sheen to it, and give you a little more protection in the surface as well. Big things with polished concrete is you're still dealing with a porous, polished concrete floor surface. So cleaning up spills as quickly as possible is super critical. Anything acidic or anything caustic will stain the concrete if it's left on the surface. So the sooner those can get cleaned up, the less likely you are to have permanent stains on your floor. The LS Guard is acting as somewhat of a stain repellent, but it's still a permeable, breathable sealer. So it's not going to be a foolproof solution. If something's left on the surface for a few days at a time, that's definitely going to cause a stain. So the quicker a stain's cleaned off the floor, the better. The other big thing would be cleaning agents. So if the Prosoco Consolidate cleaning agents aren't used, we want to make sure that a neutral-based cleaner is what's being used. Nothing very caustic and nothing very acidic. Those things will etch the surface of the concrete and will cause problems. The product that Consolidate recommends using is LS Clean. This can be used for that daily cleaning. It's diluted between 1 and 2 ounces per gallon. So 1 gallon will go a very long way. Ideally, the best way to do that is with an auto scrubber. So add the solution to the auto scrubber, auto scrub the floor on a daily or weekly basis, depending on how much traffic you're getting in here, and keep the floor as clean as possible with that. That'll keep the sheen up, and that will make it very easy to refresh and revitalize the floor. And that is the basics of keeping a polished concrete floor maintained.
Sweet.
For spills that we have, we use an absorbent prior to that, so that way we keep something handy for folks. If they spill a Coke, Pepsi, or something like that, they can, instead if they don't have availability of rags or mops,
Yes.
to use an absorbent or something.
Absorbent's good. There is part of the maintenance manual. This is the Consolidate maintenance manual. They actually have a very handy guide in here that'll give you their clean instructions for certain types of spills and stains.
Okay.
So the basics are, candy, chocolate, grease and oil, gum, peel marks, all of that. They have a process for how to clean that up, and that'll be in the package of their standard owner's maintenance manual, which is a good reference guide for anything they're looking for.
And I believe I have that document.
Yeah.
Yep.
If not, we'll get back to you.
Yep.
Pads, that's the other one thing. If you're using an auto scrubber, I don't know if they'll be using an auto scrubber.
They will.
If they are using an auto scrubber, just make sure we're not using abrasive pads. Ideally, white pads work great. You can go a little more abrasive if you're getting more grime on the floor that needs to come off.
Okay.
But you want to stay away from black pads or anything too abrasive.
So white is recommended.
White is recommended.
Okay.
You can go more aggressive if you want to, but only if it's needed.
Okay. Good.
Any other major questions on that?
Okay.
Guess we'll do it.